What is up, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists? Welcome to this episode of On the Bench with Pete, the series that you put on in the background as your hobby or paint along with me, and together we get stuff done. I'll be talking about various things in life and hobby and whatever else, really thinking out my thoughts, talking out my thoughts, you know what I mean. Hell, you know what I meant. I've got some more work to do on my amazing dragon. I've got to do some more of the Ballard Brown on the claws on that's the other side of the other wing. So I'm going to be working on that. Might get to some sisters, I don't know. Might do, might not. If we do, it'll be just in a very limited capacity, i.e. it'll be like doing metallics and things like that. I've got some awesome ones to be doing here. Right, let's, before we crack on, don't forget, glues, brushes, models, paints, get together whatever you need, and your coffee or your tea or your energy drink, whatever it may be. I've got my coffee, and let's get to the bench. Right, here we are at the bench. Got my Ballard Brown ready. Let's get my glasses on, or at least on my, perched upon my head, and we'll get my thinner medium out as well. Let's give that a bit of a shake. And my Ballard Brown. Let's give them both a bit of a shake. Now, I've just had the most awesome game of Aliens: Another Glorious Day in the Core. The end result of the game wasn't so awesome because I lost, what you might call losing in considerably epic fashion. I was doing a rescue mission. I was playing a campaign. The campaign is now over. You'll have seen this by now, because it'll be a couple of weeks before this goes up. But yeah, I played that game, and man, that was brutal. I can't believe how hard it is. It's a heck of a hard game. And you look at the likes of, say, Zombicide, and you think, wow, that's a hard game. But man, this, it's on another level. Now, I think I'll do the ones on the inside first. Well, I've got his one to do on his arm here now. Let's see if I can do those. I haven't done the ones on the other side yet either. That's good. Well, good that I've spotted it. I mean, you know what I mean. So how are you all doing? Weather here is atrocious. It keeps hailing. Hailstones, and the hail here is usually pretty heavy. It's quite painful if it hits you and you're outside. Not good. Pretty dangerous if you're driving. The sort of hailstones that could, break your windshield. It's like someone throwing stones at you, it really is. I remember once, not long ago actually, it was the end of last year, it hailed. God, I felt like someone had thrown a stone at my head. It really hurt. But yeah, so I'll try and actually I might as well just do these as I find them. Yeah, I'll try and avoid hail if I can. I don't like hail at all. It's vicious. It really is. I just wiped some of the paint off because I thought, well, it's... Yeah. I don't want it going all the way to the edge, do I? No. Mustn't forget that. Oh, it's nice and toasty out here though, with my heating on. How is it where you are? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it, just right? Like a sort of ambient temperature? Yeah, get this Ballard Brown on and we'll be in good shape. So I'm going to put not Ungor flesh, I'm going to put Ushabti bone on after. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what it was. It's a tip I got in White Dwarf. It was the last episode. The last edition of White Dwarf, yeah. I watched another episode of Doctor Who last night. The one with the Dalek, Christopher Eccleston one. It's quite cool. I actually felt sorry for the Dalek. They used to scare the pants off me when I was a kid. They really did. Used to hide behind the sofa. I mean, I'm talking, I was pretty small, pretty young, before going to school. So I'm going back a bit. Folks. It's good. My wife's going for another job within the company that she works for. It's encouraged in there, so it's kind of new for both of us to face that sort of mentality where you're in there, and it's like, you know, you're no longer in there for a few weeks, and they're expecting you to be moving on. It's because the dynamics and the infrastructure changes so much within there. They got to do it to sort of keep up. Oh, there's two more claws to do up here as well, just on the edges of his wings. Yes, I got sisters. I primed them, but I might need to go in again with some primer because I noticed a couple of gaps that need sorting out. Need a bit of attention, as it were. Kind of, sort of got an idea for a colour scheme. And it's not going to be any of your traditional colour schemes from the Codex. After ploughing through it, Human Harin, what colours shall I paint my sisters? Kind of going for my own, actually. That way I'll be able to use them as any order I so wish. That wasn't the reason for it, but you know, it could be. I could try them out. I could. So this is one of those tasks I like to get done on the bench. One of these. I particularly like to get these done. Because they're quite, well, it's not that they're not enjoyable. I'm enjoy doing it, but it's very fiddly. Do you know what I mean? I guess the main easy bit was done with the body, which was quite good. But yeah. I've got the scales to do on his middle, or the middle of his torso. That's going to be good. I'm looking forward to doing those. That's going to be great. Epic, as they say. Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I haven't applied for any jobs for a couple of days now, so next week I'll be back on that. Been pretty slack this week when it comes to job hunting. It's quite draining though, if I do say. It can be. Now, do these sabines out here? Yeah. Do you know what I've been seeing off lately? Videos been showing me these electric bikes, like Pod Ride and things like that. They look amazing. Gotta say, they look amazing. They really do. It's getting me thinking, if you don't need to if you're only commuting in and around your local area, might be something to look at in the future, perhaps. Possibly. Yeah. And here comes the rain. Here comes the rain, baby. Oh. Right, how's my coffee? Gonna be too hot at the moment. So, right, I'm going to use the Quick Shade, which is a sepia tone. I'm going to use it on the central spine. Right. It's a light tone, sorry. Quick Shade light tone. Yeah, it's a sepia wash. And I'm going to put it on this center spine here. Yeah. Liking that. Liking that a lot. So going to have to hold the model in a certain way. That's all right. So, usual questions then. What are you working on? What time of day is it or night is it there? And is it hot, cold, or whatever? It's cold here today. There. That's looking all right, actually. That's looking all right. I'm going to put some on the fins on his tail as well. Yes, looking good, sir. Looking good. And that's good because we used up all of that. Okay. Now we could go Rhinox hide for the spikes on the end of his sort of collar here. I think we will, because this is going to keep it uniform. So Rhinox hide, or the other one, he says, which is Umbra Lumber. Yeah. But really, I should stick with. No, we'll stick with Rhinox hide, I think. Yeah, we'll stick with Rhinox hide because it's really going to help keep it uniform. Right, just just going to take a break here a moment. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take a break. Right, I'm just going to see if my coffee is cool enough to drink yet. Doesn't feel like it. No, it's still blisteringly hot, which is lovely. Turned off my heater, by the way. I decided on doing Rhinox hide for these claw-like things around his collar here. That's what we're going with. Rhinox hide. That's what I'm doing. I'll put a drop of thinner medium with that. Smidgen of water. There we go. Looking forward to the future. Maybe getting another job. I decided whilst I was on my break what I want to accomplish next week. My goals for next week, if you will. Number one, I want to start my PowerPoint course, which I think is easily achievable. I can say with absolute certainty that will happen. The second thing I want to accomplish is to apply for 3 jobs, at least 3 jobs during the course of next week. I want to apply for at least 3 jobs. Now that's not a given, because obviously the jobs themselves, they have to be available. You know, I can't just magic them out of thin air. They've got to be there for me to physically apply for them. So, but that's what I'm hoping for. Hoping that there will be at least 3 jobs. Who knows? 1 a day, maybe. Might get there. Right? Maybe we might get there. Let's raise this camera slightly higher. I'm working on these bits here. And the other thing I want to do next week is film an episode of the Dwarves of Fangorn, because that's long overdue, and I really want to know what's going to happen to poor old Bungo Bolga. What's going to happen? They're going to find the dwarves. You know what's the deal? I haven't made any rolls yet off camera. I might make a couple beforehand and reveal on the film, on the episode itself. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We don't know who they've encountered at this stage on Weathertop, so that's going to be interesting. I think there's a high probability of what they might encounter, but again, we'll roll for that. Yeah, so we're doing good here with this. So that's hopefully going to be my week next week, because I've packed away Aliens Another Glorious Day in the core now. I've packed that away in the hopes that, I can use the space. The noise you can hear, sorry, is me trying to make room there we go. Liquid green stuff. Thing is, with liquid green stuff, the longer you keep it, the harder it goes. It turns into like conventional green stuff, but that's okay. Right. Dragon needs to dry, so he's out the picture now. So let's have a look at who we've got here. We've got one of our battle sisters, and she's got a couple areas of like gaps. Because I don't use liquid green stuff much. I tend to use Vallejo plastic putty, but when you buy certain liquid green stuff, it is actually a liquid and it's kind of a lot handier to work with, easier to work with. Don't know that it's much easier to work with. So what I'm attempting to do is fill the gaps. Please mind the gap. So of course I will have to come in with some more primer, and that's okay. That is absolutely fine. We're okay with that. So yeah, this is a grey primer I used for her. I don't sweat it about, 100% coverage when it's just priming anyway. To me, it does its job. Right, I feel that's okay now. So what I'm going to do, folks, is on that one, I'm going to hand prime over the liquid green stuff. Now I airbrushed this primer on initially. So it wouldn't have the bubbles, which it didn't, and that was good. Might as well do a bit more of the sword while we're here. That is awesome. Fair. So that's one battle sister. Although she could do with a bit of liquid green stuff on her other side here. So what I'm attempting to do here now is I'm just going to get ready with these. Yeah, that's it. That's what we got to do. Wipe the majority of it away. Such minuscule areas. Such a minuscule area to put green stuff on. It's insanely untrue. So well, obviously by now you know I've got some sisters. Of course I have sisters. And I'm going to have a new army of sisters, battle sisters. Sisters of battle. Always wanted sisters as an army. I think they're just super cool. Really cool. I'm going to have a look to see if I've got any Space Marines in my bits box. I might have enough for a few. So I fancy painting some Space Marines again. I don't think I've got any Primaris, but I'll have a look, see if I've got any left over from my what was it called? Not Dark Vengeance, the one after. Box set, anyway. I need to add to my... That's that sister done anyway. I need to add to my Dark Angels army, which is what I want to do. Popping my heating on again. Just going to have a look at my cherub. Now, talking my thoughts out here, I'm thinking of going with greys. And like a grey blue. And red for the robes. Quite fancy red robes. But we'll see. She looks more or less ready. I'm not going to paint any of these today, I don't think. Oh, we've got this one here. This is a nice one. Yeah, I'm thinking the Thunderhawk blue looks so good on the armour. And then for different ranks, you know, such as canonesses and then the like, maybe just go straight grey armour plating. They can be any order then, because they're not painted to a strict order. I was going to... I say I'm going to paint them red robes, but... I'm looking for a certain colour. What I might do, might be this kind of, that kind of red, maybe. I mean, Mephiston, it's kind of been, well, I don't know. I'm going to put them out alongside. We've got a corn red here as well. I mean, corn red and Gal Vorbak red, there's not a lot of difference. Gal Vorbak is a little bit darker, perhaps. Perhaps, he says. I mean, you know, it's... And we've got burgundy, which is again, which is even further down the line, it's even darker. So I'm, you know, that's my thought process. That's where I'm going with that. So this is a good session. I've got some work done here. I've got another stage of the claws done on my dragon, which is super cool. I'm just looking at these. I really can't wait to start painting these girls. As an army, I think they're going to be brilliant. I mean, I'm only just getting back into 40k, and this is kind of my headway into it. The Sisters of Battle. So yeah, looking good, looking good. I think they might make the Necrons their most hated enemy. I know they seek out heresy in that as well, but I need to put a bit of liquid green stuff on her leg, this one. And then what we'll do is we'll come in with some primer on top to cover that over. Right, that's a good time for hobby right now. Oh, I'll tell you what I am looking into as well, because I've been watching Doctor Who. I rather fancy a Doctor Who role-playing game of some description. And so I had a look, and yeah, sure, they're out of print, but who cares, right? As long as I can get the stuff, who cares? Yeah, it's got to put this green stuff on her leg. I don't want it to have such a sort of gap, as it were. Well, this episode of On the Bench is kind of in two parts because I had to go for a break. Sorry about that earlier. What time have I got here now? To wipe some of this green stuff off. Yeah. I'll wait for that to dry a bit. Got any gaps to fill on you, milady? Some nice augmentation on her eye there. That's super cool. A little bit on the gun, I would say. I'm not a fan of having a line running down the barrel. Not a fan of that. Of course, this is fiddly work. Speaking of fiddly work, I was watching Jamjar 34 do his Slaanesh model. God, there's some fiddly bits on that. I feel his pain though, because anybody that's ever done the model Sly Marbo will know his cigar is very small. I mean, some of these bits are smaller than what you hoover up in your vacuum cleaner, aren't they? Speaking of which, I've got to do that out here today before I go in. So I shall. Right, so that's my green stuffy stuff doing. Now we're going to pop some primer onto this sister's leg. Yeah, I think we're good to go then. That's awesome. So that point has been addressed. Just put some primer onto the barrel of that gun and we'll be good there. Just a matter of waiting for those guys to dry up and we're in good shape. And that's us done. Well, thanks ever so much for watching this episode of On the Bench. It's been an absolute blast. Thank you. I've got loads done. Sister's ready. I've got my dragon that I want to get going. Let's zoom out a bit here so you can see him. And my sister's in front there. That is just awesome. This guy is coming on. And yeah. Thank you ever so much. Please like if you like the video, dislike if you dislike, share if you can, check out my Patreon, all that other good fun stuff. And I'll see you on the next video. Remember, all brushes lead to war. Bye for now.